Hello and welcome viewers, thank you for joining us. This is the weekly review that comes to you every week this hour. I, Alain Temiskin, along with my colleague, Ms. Ganon Fanta, will be staying with you for half an hour discussing the top stories that happened over the week, so stay with us. Thanks so much for joining me. And there are a number of events and delegations, came to Addis Ababa, and different events happened over the week. And just to highlight some of the stories, a delegation led by Saudi Arabian Investment and Trade came to Addis Ababa recently and paid a visit to some developmental works here in the city. So, as you know, Addis Ababa is just booming by hosting and taking care of different events, international events. This is a result of the hard work of the Addis Ababa City Administration to make the city, great diplomatic and business city like this name. So this delegation came and spent three days by paying a visit to some places, as I said, and participating in the business forum. So the delegation was welcomed by Planning and Development Minister Fudzu Masafa. And on Wednesday, the investment forum was launched at Science Museum. And during that event, Chairman of the Federation of Saudi Chamber, Hassan Mujib, reckoned Saudi Arabia economic investment in Ethiopia, started back in 1948. That diplomatic relations have been maintained since then. Anything that you want to add?
So as you can see, business delegations from various countries are coming to Ethiopia to see the investment prospects of the country. As you can remember, last week the Pakistani investors were in Ethiopia to see, for the second time actually, the business forum was held for the second time with Pakistani investors. And this week the Saudi investment delegation also came to Ethiopia to see other investment prospects. As you know, in the recent years, Ethiopia is reforming its economy and making the business environment, the investment environment very comfortable for the domestic investors and also for the foreign investors by doing reforms on legal frameworks and giving incentives for those investors. So that the Saudi delegation also came to Ethiopia to see those suitable atmospheres of investment, and about, I think, 79 investors came to Ethiopia, and they have visited some projects in Ethiopia, in Bishoftu and other areas on investments that are being done by the domestic investors and also other foreign investors, specifically on livestock, agriculture and such investment areas. So I think this is also a big move by the government of Ethiopia and by the Addis Ababa City Administration to show such investment opportunities for foreign investors. And I think in the near future there will be a lot of investors joining the Ethiopian investment and trade environment.
Yeah, like you said, actually, it's obvious that the government of Ethiopia is creating a very conducive business opportunities in the country, and by opening up the economies and liberalizing some government-owned sectors for foreign investors. So this is a great stride, and that's why the foreign investors are being attracted to come and explore the opportunities available in the country. And the main purpose of this Saudi Arabia delegation was to explore opportunities in agriculture, mining, tourism, energy, transport, and other sectors. So it's a tremendous success being witnessed in the country, and in the city in particular.
Yeah.
And let's move on to the other unique and fundamental event that happened in South Korea. Our Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed paid a official visit to South Korea for a couple of purposes, right?
Yeah.
For paying a visit and for taking part in the first ever Africa-South Korea summit.
Yeah, so ahead of the Korea-Africa summit, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, together with First Lady Tayacho and a high-level delegation, visited South Korea. So, as you know, Ethiopia and South Korea are very, very, very integrated, and they're brothers by blood, as you know, from the 1950 till now. They're related with their blood. The Ethiopians paid sacrifice for the independence and freedom of the land of Korea. So this is a big historical tie between the two nations, and apart from that, in order to upgrade this historical tie, the two nations are also moving to making economic relations, economic ties, so that the Prime Minister, together with Finance Minister Ahmed Shide, Foreign Minister Tayyaz Gaselase, and other member of the delegation visited the South Korea. So during their visit, they have signed economic agreements, memorandum of understanding. For example, the $1 billion economic financing agreement is the one which is going to be implemented in the coming 4 years between the South Korea and Ethiopia. That is one big move in making this historical relation a tangible relation with economic integration. The other one is that the Prime Minister also urged the South Korean investors to invest in Ethiopia, to see the business and the trade and investment prospects in Ethiopia, in agriculture, technology. As you know, South Korea is highly known for its innovation in the technology expansion, and its development key is, especially nowadays, the innovation in technology. So the Prime Minister needs to bring that experience from South Korea to Ethiopia. As you know, Ethiopia is also highly focused on this innovation and technology, so that would be a great experience for Ethiopia. And also, if the investors come to Ethiopia and invest in this science and technology sector as a big potential and opportunities in Ethiopia, that would be a big opportunity also for those investors. So that the Prime Minister also showed that prospect, and the South Korean president also needs to strengthen this tie between the two nations in economy, and he's also keen to strengthen this relation. So that was generally the highlight by the Prime Minister's visit. And also he and the First Lady Tayacho also visited the memorial of those troops who sacrificed by at the Korean War, and they have a memorial in South Korea, Chuncheon city. So they have visited the memorial, and they also put wreaths on the memorial. So that was generally the visit of Prime Minister and his delegation ahead of the Korea-Africa summit.
Right, you say actually the two nations have been enjoying the most brotherhood, friendship ever since by the time they sought Ethiopia's assistance, military assistance, while they were fighting for independence. It's not the first time that a delegation went to South Korea since the reform. A delegation led by Mayor Addis Ababa went to South Korea in order to make an agreement of sisterhood, cooperation, partnership, between Addis Ababa and Changchun city. So these two great nations have been, striving to work together for mutual benefit, for mutual development, for greater transformation.
Yeah, yes. Of course, yeah.
So over the week, as we try to mention at the introduction, the first ever Africa South Korea summit took place over the week. So representatives from 48 African nations have attended this first inaugural Korea-Africa Summit. And the talks, which opened on Thursday, focused on trade, technology, and investment. And it was organized under the theme, "The Future We Make Together, Shared Growth, Sustainability, and Solidarity." In order to boost cooperation with Africa, South Korea will expand ODA, which is official development assistance program, to around $10 billion until 2030. Also, in order to encourage South Korean trade and investment in the region, South Korea will provide $14 billion in export financing. This is a big money to be spent in order to strengthen the economic cooperation between the two sides. And to your astonishment, the trade flow in Africa by South Korea is less than 2%, which needs to be strengthened more in the future. And during the summit, their President Yoon Suk Yeol pledged that Korea would extend its trade and investment promotion frameworks and investment protection agreements to African countries. Prime Minister made a very wonderful speech in the meeting. So he stated that the ties between Africa and Korea date back to the Korean War of early 1950s, as you were trying to list out the event, fostering a strong partnership rooted in collective security. He also noted Ethiopia emerged as a significant ally to Korea, contributing the Ganyo infantry battalion to protect freedom of the Korean peninsula during the war. So this is a tremendous contribution made by Ethiopia to its sister country, South Korea. So according to the Premier, the summit offers an opportunity to envision a future blueprint for partnership and to strengthen synergy for shared growth and sustainability between Korea and Africa. And he said, "I'm confident that expanded development cooperation with the Korea-Africa platform will significantly contribute to the fostering of innovative, smart, green, and value-added and digitalized growth." As you said, it is a country, South Korea is known for its technology, advanced in agriculture, in different sectors. So Korea will be anticipated to share its development endeavors to those African nations to cope up with the development efforts.
As you mentioned, now Korea is one of the highest economies in the continent of Asia, and in general, one of the biggest economies in the world. So this economy have been created in the last 50 years, which is very impressive, and especially for the continent of Africa. And like a country, Ethiopia, it's a big experience, a very nice experience to see those achievements within a short period of time. So that's why, for example, Ethiopia is very related with South Korea in its economy. If you see, Ethiopia is striving to make or to improve its economy within a short period of time, as it has immense resources. For example, in agriculture, if you see, it has created a big move. For example, in wheat production, within 2-3 years, now it has become self-sufficient in wheat production. So these things can be created within a short period of time, and that's the biggest experience from the Korea to the continent of Africa. And on the summit, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed was among the leaders who made remarks, and he emphasized that the Korea-Africa relation should be enhanced in science and technology. That's the one, and he even called for the construction of a science and technology institute in the continent of Africa to improve the sector. And he also said Addis Ababa is open and very welcome to build this institute. The other one is he also shared the experience of Ethiopia in urbanization. And this mobility issue, as you know, a lot of works are being done in Addis Ababa and other cities in Ethiopia, and that's another issue the Prime Minister mentioned. And he also shared his country's experience to the Korea and other African countries on the stage. That was another issue. So in this regard, the Prime Minister said that the Korea-Africa relation needs to be enhanced economically, socially, and in all sectors.
Africa's economic diversification focus sets it up to seize new opportunities during global transitions. Despite challenges, the continent demonstrates economic dynamism, prioritizing integration and paving its own path towards a prosperous future. Ethiopia in particular has taken proactive steps to address food, climate, and the energy crisis. Initiatives like the Green Legacy and food sovereignty efforts underscore our commitment to sustainable and green growth. As part of the continental efforts to achieve the African Union agricultural transformation agenda, Ethiopia has played an inspirational role in increasing wheat productivity. Our performance in wheat production indicates that Africa has the potential to shape the future of food globally. Informed by Agenda 2063 in the African Free Trade Area, the continent is poised to harness its economic potential, aiming to become a key growth node in the global economy through integrated industrial productivity.
Coming to the conclusion program, President Yoon of Korea summed up the summit as a new chapter for Korea-Africa relations. He also outlined Korea's areas of interest for support and partnership in Africa, digitalization, as you listed out, e-governance, education and capacity building, climate change, food security, and critical minerals. This is all about the summit and the visit paid by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. The Prime Minister's visit hasn't ended to South Korea. The Prime Minister Abiy, along with his delegation, went to Singapore for the first time. Actually, he paid such an official visit to Singapore, and he went there at the invitation of Prime Minister and Minister of Finance of Singapore, Lawrence Wong. And it was indicated that Prime Minister Abiy's visit coincided with the 55th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations between Ethiopia and Singapore. and will serve to reinforce the friendly relations of the two countries.
I'm very honored this evening to host Prime Minister Abiy's first official visit to Singapore. The visit is made extra special for several reasons. It's the first by an Ethiopian head of government since 1968. It's taking place in the 55th anniversary of diplomatic ties between our two countries. This visit gives extra momentum to our bilateral relations, and we have many reasons to celebrate tonight. At first blush, Singapore and Ethiopia would seem like two very different countries. We are in different continents, 7,000 kilometers away from one another. Singapore is a small tropical island and a focal point. We have been a focal point of competition amongst colonial powers in the 19th century. Ethiopia has never been brought under colonial control, and you have a huge land mass, 5 times the size of the UK. Given the distance, not many Singaporeans would have deep familiarity with Ethiopia. But we do enjoy Ethiopian coffee every morning, and we are grateful for the coffee beans first discovered in your country. We admire your athletes, especially your runners who take part in our marathons every year and excel consistently. But these are just at the surface, because in fact, our common bonds go deeper than that. Ethiopia is an ancient civilization. You are the birthplace of humanity, and so in many ways we spring from the same root of life. We are both multicultural societies. You have a diverse population with different ethnic groups and different languages. To quote one of your poets, you are a land where the first harmony in the rainbow was born. Singapore, too, is founded on the same multicultural ideal. We are an immigrant society with people from diverse backgrounds, and here we pledge to be one united people, regardless of race, language, or religion.
On the occasion, Prime Minister Abiy received a very excellent reception, ceremonial welcome at the Istana. Istana is an office of the president, where different international guests come and bestowed upon a special reception. So he called on President Tharman and Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Lawrence Wong, who hosted an official dinner in Prime Minister Abiy's honor. And Prime Minister Abiy and his wife, First Lady Zinashta Yacho, also had a new orchid hybrid, Aranda Abiy Ahmed Zinashta Yacho, named in their honor. Yeah. And to your amazement, this orchid hybrid is offered. Different international dignitaries come to Singapore for the first time. It's a kind of plant, a kind of flower that is named after that dignitaries, that distinguished guest who has come to Singapore for the first time. So Prime Minister and his wife Zinashta Yacho, First Lady Zinashta Yacho, were among those dignitaries or government officials who have been given such an honor in there.
Singapore has a Green Plan 2030, by the way, is highly working on implementing the Paris Agreement, achieving the 2030 Sustainable Development Goal, and the net zero emission of the 2050 by planting trees in such a way. And I think the Prime Minister's visit also focused on experience sharing in this planting issue. As you know, Ethiopia is now well known for its Green Legacy initiative by planting more than 32 billion trees within a few years. So that would be one of the experiences to be shared between the two nations. The other thing is the the Singapore's economy is driven by the manufacturing sector, and nowadays Ethiopia is highly working on improving this manufacturing sector through a lot of legal frameworks and initiatives. So I think the manufacturing sector is also one of the sectors that needs to take some experience from Singapore, and I think the Prime Minister's visit also focused on that issue. So the Prime Minister and his delegation also, they were touring the Singapore with the streets of Singapore as an ordinary person visiting a lot of recreational sites. Likewise, now Addis Ababa is also developing such facilities, and I think that experience also should be taken from Singapore by making a livable and a suitable city for everybody. So I think the Prime Minister's visit also will have such significance.
Yeah, Prime Minister of Singapore, Lawrence, was very much delighted, and throughout a party, welcoming party, and admired Prime Minister and his work being undertaken here in the country, and many investors showed interest to come and be part of the business opportunities offering here. So not only Prime Minister went there, Mayor of Addis Ababa City, Addis Ababa, was there before Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed went there. So she also participated in a very great conference organized by the Singaporean government and city mayor, and she tried to have a discussion with members of C40 countries and different stakeholders in order to create an agreement of cooperation between Addis Ababa and those respective cities. So it was a very fruitful and promising stay in Singapore by Ethiopian delegation. Well, viewers, that is all we have for today's weekly review. Many thanks for watching. Until we come up with other stories next week, many thanks for watching and goodbye for now.